Hello everyone, today we will not increase McDonald's by very many times, but we will prepare a huge latte classic, potato dips, and Big Tasties. By the way, write down what is your favorite burger from McDonald's. I have it as my Big Tasty. Please like it in advance, it's going to be a very interesting video. Let's go. Without the beautiful packaging, McDonald's is not McDonald's. So let's repeat the packaging, but on a huge scale. To do this, we will use this kind of corrugated cardboard. We unfold the original packaging, measure the dimensions of the boxes, multiply them, and transfer these dimensions to cardboard. Wherever necessary, we cut them out. And we bend the cardboard exactly according to the marked places. We squeeze out some hot glue and assemble the box. Now our Big Tasty box is ready. We also make a box for the fries. The plastic bucket will serve as a large coffee cup. And we make the lid out of the same cardboard. In my opinion, it turned out pretty well. We arm ourselves with paints, and first of all, we paint a plastic bucket from a spray can in yellow. And we cover our cardboard products with acrylic paints. We put the painted lid on the already yellow bucket. We paste the inscription, and it turns out very similar to the glass from McDonald's. Here is such a box that turned out for the fries, and here is what we got for the Big Tasty. By the way, we made it according to the old box design. Maybe from the outside it seems that all of this is not so difficult, but it took us 15 hours to make all these boxes. The first thing we're going to do is make the French fries. This is the same French fries, but only in a different shape. So we need a bag of potatoes. We open it up. And begin to clean it. The peeled potatoes are dumped into a basin. And the same thing a few more times. Now we're left with a full basin of peeled potatoes, but it's dirty. Therefore, we pour them into the sink and fill it with water. We wash the dirt off of each potato and remove all the eyes that we missed the first time. We put the perfectly peeled potatoes in a saucepan and fill that with water so that it completely covers the potatoes. Now we put that onto 2 burners. Our potatoes need to be boiled, but apparently we chose the wrong variety. For the potatoes to get soft, they were cooked for 7 hours. So we drain the excess water. And with the help of a potato masher, we knead the potatoes. When the masses become more or less homogeneous, we add quite a lot of salt and continue to knead. The shape of our fries is going to be very unusual, so repeat it on a large scale. We take these iron corners, pour oil onto each of them, and smear that all around with a brush. And now we take our mashed potatoes and put them into the molds. And we ram it all around with our hands. And with the help of some tube-shaped object, we make the most similar shape of the potato dippers. And we throw those into the freezer for a whole day. In the meantime, we'll make a giant coffee. For this, we need 14 liters of milk. We open the bottles and pour them into a large saucepan. We put that onto the stove. And it'll be needed to heat it up to 60 degrees. In the meantime, let's get busy with some coffee beans. They are already fried, so now we just have to grind them. Therefore, put a little bit into a coffee grinder and grind. Our already ground coffee is poured into another saucepan. Thus, we need to grind all our 800 grams of coffee beans. Fill them with 5 liters of water. Mix. And throw all that onto the stove. We pour a lot of sugar into our huge espresso. And mix it again. The milk is already hot. Therefore, we scoop it and pour it into a blender. Close and beat the hot milk really well. After this procedure, the milk will turn into a foam. We send the foam into a large glass. And so we pass all the hot milk through the blender the same way. We install a sieve on top, and the coffee is already boiling, so we remove it from the stove and pour it into the large glass. That's our giant latte that's ready. Very similar to what they sell at McDonald's. Now let's make a giant Big Tasty. It consists of the Big Tasty sauce, tomatoes, lettuce, onions, cutlets, cheese, and of course buns. We'll start with them. Pour some water into a bowl. Add some dry yeast, salt, sugar, oil, and of course flour. We knead all this together and also add the flour until the dough stops sticking to your hands. We put this onto a baking tray. We bake 1 egg into a bowl and pour in a little milk. Mix that up. And when the dough is risen, we lubricate it with this mixture. Now we sprinkle some sesame seeds on top and into the oven at 200 degrees. Looking ahead, I will say that this test was not enough. We made a double portion and baked a bun like this from it. We released it from the foil and cut it in half. It turned out to be very soft. So now let's make our hamburger. In ground beef, we add some dry garlic and 2 chili pepper and a lot of salt. Well, we mix the spices with our hands. But there is very little fat in this minced meat, and the cutlet will be 100% dry. A piece of lard will help fix all of this. We cut off the unnecessary skin and cut the frozen fat into plates. Then into cubes. And chop it up. That's it. We send the cubes of lard into the minced meat. And mix it again. Now the cutlet will be very juicy. We transfer all the minced meat to the parchment. Done. Now we're going to grill it, so therefore we kindle it. Top the cutlet with some oil and smear it around with your hand. We put the grill grate on top and turn it over. We send the cutlet on to fry. To extinguish the fire, cover it with a lid and later fry without it. We pick up the cutlet with a spatula and turn it over. On this side, fry for another 10 minutes. And it's all ready. Now let's go to the cheese. We will use some Emmental for the taste and mozzarella so that it melts well. Cut the cheese into smaller pieces. and grate. All the cheese is then thoroughly mixed together. Divide into half and pour into 2 pots. We put them on the stove and constantly stir them until we wait for the cheese to melt. We will prepare the molds now. Lubricate the plastic trays with oil. Pour out the hot cheese. And distribute it according to the shape. And just let them freeze like that. So for the Big Tasty sauce, we squeeze out a whole package of mayonnaise. Pour in some paprika, black pepper, crushed garlic. We clean it. Finally chop it. And rub with a knife all over the board. And that's awesome into the sauce. American mustard. Cut a lemon and squeeze the juice out of it. Barbecue sauce is a must. But that's not it. The most important thing left is a little liquid smoke. Stir for the last time and the Big Tasty sauce is ready. Tomatoes, iceberg lettuce, and onions are all needed from the vegetables. First, peel the onion. And cut it into half rings. This time the onion was very spicy. Got the tomatoes. Well, and now let's put our Big Tasty together. We spread a slice of cheese onto the bun, then a huge cutlet, another slice of cheese, put on the tomatoes, onion, iceberg lettuce, pour all the sauce out on top. And cover that with the top bun. At this point, a huge Big Tasty is ready. By this time, the potatoes have already been frozen. You can pull them out. You can pull off the iron corners. And in my opinion, the shape turned out really great. We put a huge saucepan on the burners. And you need a lot of oil. We open it. And make a huge deep fryer. We lower our potato dippers into the hot oil. We take them out and put them onto the paper towels. We also fry the rest. Now let's put them into the box. There we go, we've prepared our giant McDonald's menu. All this took 3 days of work. And in my opinion, it turned out pretty similar to the original. So let's try it all. Our potato dippers. Our dippers have a crust that is not as crispy as in the original. But let's try the coffee. The coffee is delicious, very similar to a Mac Latte. And let's finally cut into our Big Tasty. Let's try it. Hello everyone. Today, as I promised, we will prepare a giant donut weighing 120 kilograms. Let's go. We're going to the store. We bought 6 liters of butter, 40 kilograms of flour, ,40 kilograms of sugar, many packs of mastic, baking powder, starch, many different dyes, frozen strawberries, eight kilograms of condensed milk, 2 boxes of chicken eggs. We put all this onto the cash register. And all these products cost $356. We begin to prepare the dough. We open up the boxes. We take out the trays with the eggs. And now we split our towers from the chicken eggs. We split our towers of the chicken eggs and put 2 plastic containers on the table. Now we divide each egg into the yolk and protein. Nothing complicated, but we have 630 of them. It took 2 hours to separate all of them. Done. We have completely filled the containers. And now we take 3 large basins. We scoop up the yolks with a measuring cup and pour the same amount into the basins. Now we need sugar. We open up the bags. "40 kilograms of sugar is scattered into each basin. Also pour in 1 liter of water. With the help of a construction mixer, we mix them. The mass should increase in volume and turn white. Now you need 6 liters of oil. Open it. And pour the same amount into each basin. What kind of dough would it be without flour? We open it. And we scatter 40 kilograms into the basins. For this splendor of the dough, we add baking powder. Open it, and put half a kilogram in each basin. And once again, we mix thoroughly with a construction mixer. In the process, we also added water as the dough turned out to be very thick. Now we return to the chicken whites. We need 4 mixers and 1 standing mixer. We scoop up the whites with a measuring cup and set exactly 300 milliliters into the bowl. And for the mixers, we measure twice as much, 150 each, and we fill them up. Turn it on. Right now, we have 5 servings of proteins whipped at the same time. We are waiting for them to turn into a foam. We send proteins from 4 small bowls into 2 basins. In the 3rd basin, the bowl from the stand mixer. Gently using a spatula, we mix this foam into the dough to preserve as many air bubbles as possible. We made a small mini conveyor, and while one person measures and whips, the second, that is, me, mixes them into the dough. And so for 3 hours. That's it, the dough is finally ready, and it's become much liquidier. The only way to make a large-sized donut is to bake it in the custom-made mold. It looks like just a factory one. We open the oil into the can and sprinkle it from the inside. Now let's glue on some parchment to it. You need to cover the whole mold with it. And finally, we pour the dough from all 3 basins into the mold. Done. We will bake the dough in our huge oven. Now, in total with the baking sheet, all this weighs 150 kilograms. We transfer it into the oven. And push it in. But that's not all. The mold needs to be raised and put a brake disc with a bearing under it. Now this structure can be rotated very easily. Ignite the burners, and we close the oven. We need to maintain a temperature of 160 degrees. Every 2 hours, we will slightly open the doors, pull the rope, and turn the mold so that the dough is evenly baked. And while the donut is being baked, we will make a cream that will go inside. We open up the frozen strawberries, pour them into a large saucepan. We put it on the stove. And in half an hour, the strawberries should defrost and let the juice out. Add 2 kilograms of sugar. Mix that thoroughly with an immersion blender. Now we add the condensed milk. Cut through the film and squeeze the condensed milk into a saucepan. Now we open up 2 kilograms of starch. Also pour that into the saucepan. And knead until smooth. In order to break up the lumps really well, we use a whisk. And add some pink dye. We mix that up. After that, we pour this mass into strawberry. Mix it up, and it starts to thicken. We need a thick custard like this. Unwinding a special bag for the vacuum cleaner, we cut off about 1 meter, and we dissolve it along. We solder 3 such long packages together into one large one. Now it turns out a very large pastry bag. We cut off the tip of it. We push the iron tube through and fix it with plastic ties. Now we cut off all the excess. And we fill the bag with our berry cream. That's it, it's full. We return to the glaze. To do this, cut in half a lot of lemons. With the help of such a special machine, we squeeze the juice out of all of them. The machine squeezes the juice right to the maximum, much more convenient and faster than with your hands. Done. It turned out to be a whole bowl of sour lemon juice. Now let's paint it pink. The second thing you need to do for the glaze is powdered sugar. Lots of powdered sugar. We open it and send it all to a large basin. Then pour in parts of the tinted lemon juice. Mix it up. Now we'll get the consistency of a very thick glaze. For the last preparatory stage, we open up the mastic. Now this is quite dense. Therefore, we send it into the microwave. When heated, it is much softer. In 4 briquettes of mastic, we add the different dyes. Mix all that well with your hands until all the dyes go in. Done. We shift it into a square shape. We press the mastic with our hands. We repeat the same thing with each color. Then we just cut it into slices. We get this kind of increased sprinkling. We got all the colors like this. The donut is already cooked. We take it out of the oven and bring it into the studio. To turn it all in, we install a special cover. We snap it on. Turn it over. And unsnap the fasteners. Now we lift off the mold. And we tear off all the unnecessary parchment. Now it can be moved to the table. The shape turned out to be a little bit wrong, but in general it looks like a donut. We push in the cooking bag, and we push out more cream. Now for the glaze. Just pour it all over the top of the donut. And now the last thing, we spread out the multicolored sprinkles. Done. As I promised, we cooked a very huge donut weighing as much as 120 kilograms, and it took 3 whole days to prepare it. I think it's worthy of your like and for you to subscribe to the channel. Let's cut it open and see what's inside. There's just so much cream. Let's try a piece. That's a really tasty dough with an awesome cream. And there will be 2 requests for you now. Share this video with a friend and click on this playlist. There's still a lot of huge food to be made. Bye, everybody.